After a lifetime of working hard and saving diligently, a really strange thing can start to happen. You finally have the resources you planned for, but a kind of paralyzing anxiety takes hold when it's finally time to enjoy them. If you felt this, you are not alone. It's an incredibly common feeling. And today, we're going to give you a framework to finally move past it.
This right here, this quote gets to the absolute heart of the matter. This feeling actually has a name. It's called the Senior Decision Bottleneck. It's that knot that forms in your stomach when you think about buying a new car or renovating the kitchen or maybe taking that once-in-a-lifetime trip. The math on your spreadsheet says, yes, you can do this, but your gut is just screaming, no, wait! It feels like you're about to steal from a future, more vulnerable version of yourself. And in this explainer, we are going to unpack exactly why that happens and, more importantly, show you a clear, objective way to move past it. So here's our roadmap for this journey. First, we'll uncover the hidden psychological risk that really kicks in after 60. Then, we'll look at the two big forces that make spending feel so different now. From there, we'll introduce a really powerful solution, the power of 2 zones. Then we'll give you a concrete 4-step plan to put it all into action, talk about the importance of giving yourself permission to enjoy your life, and finally, we'll leave you with one gentle, super simple first step you can take today. This is the path from anxiety to confidence.
Okay, let's dive right into the core issue here. See, this isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It's about the psychology of money at this very specific stage of life. The rules of the game have totally changed, and your brain is correctly sensing that the stakes are higher than they've ever been.
And this right here is the paradox that freezes so many people. You look at your savings, and by every logical measure, you can absolutely afford it. But that feeling of risk, it's overwhelming. It feels permanent, like there's no going back. So why is that? What's the real reason it feels so much more dangerous to spend, say, $10,000 at 65 than it did at 45? Well, it's not just a feeling, it's a rational response to a new financial reality, and we're about to break down exactly what that is.
So let's get into the why behind all this. This anxiety isn't just random. It's driven by 2 really powerful forces that come together and get amplified right around retirement age. And understanding these 2 forces is absolutely key, because it helps you realize that what you're feeling is normal. Your brain isn't broken, it's just responding to a brand new set of signals.
The first force is a well-known psychological bias called loss aversion. Now, this affects all of us at every age. Studies have shown that the pain of losing $100 feels roughly twice as bad as the joy of gaining $100. But after 60, this natural human tendency gets put on steroids. Why? Because the consequences of a loss are just so much greater. A financial mistake isn't just a dip in your portfolio anymore. It can feel like a direct threat to your future independence, your healthcare, your security. That potential pain is so huge that it can make almost any gain seem small in comparison.
And the second force is the fixed time horizon. This one is less about psychology and more about cold, hard reality. Think about it. When you were working, if you made a big purchase, you had a recovery plan built right in, your next paycheck. And the one after that, you had decades of future earnings to refill the pot. But on a fixed income, that's gone. Large sums of money, once they're spent, can't be easily earned back. Every dollar you spend on a want today is a dollar that is permanently gone from the bucket of money meant to support you for the rest of your life. The time you have to recover from a mistake has shrunk to 0.
So here's the crucial point. It's the combination of these 2 things. You have the intense emotional fear from loss aversion, crashing into the logical reality of a fixed time horizon. It's a perfect storm for analysis paralysis. Your brain sees this high-consequence, irreversible choice and, logically concludes that the safest thing to do is nothing. Just hoard the cash, just in case. But this is where we turn the corner. Understanding the problem is one thing, but solving it is what we're here for. We're going to shift now from explaining the fear to outlining a powerful, clear, and objective solution. This is all about replacing that vague emotional anxiety with a concrete, logical framework that gives you back a sense of control. If there's one thing to take away from this, it's this. The risk you're truly afraid of is irreversibility. You're afraid of making a mistake you can't undo, so the solution has to address that fear head-on, and we do this through something called objective scenario planning. It's really just a method for looking at the future, planning for the worst-case scenario, and by doing that, freeing up your resources and your mind to actually enjoy the present.
And this slide right here, this is the aha moment. The core of this whole framework is to mentally, and mathematically, divide your money into 2 distinct zones. On the left, you have the safety floor. Think of this as your fortress. It's the amount of money you calculate you will need for all your non-negotiable essentials, housing, food, healthcare, taxes, to last you until at least age 95. This money is sacred. You have to mentally treat it as if it's already been spent on your future self, okay? Then, on the right,
Everything else falls into the guilt-free spending zone. This is the buffer, the capital above your safety floor. So let's say your safety floor is $1 million and you have $1.2 million. That means $200,000 is in this zone. Its only job is intentional enjoyment. By creating this crystal clear division, you neutralize the fear. When you want to take that trip, you're not stealing from your future self because your future self is already fully taken care of by the safety floor.
Okay, so we've got the what's, these two zones. Now let's talk about the how. We're going to walk through a practical 4-step action plan that helps you build this framework for yourself. And the goal here is to be gentle but structured, just moving you toward making decisions with confidence.
All right, here are the 4 steps. Step 1 is to calculate your longevity fund. This is the hard math of building your safety floor. It means sitting down and figuring out your essential annual expenses, think mortgage, property taxes, food, utilities, a conservative guess for healthcare, and then multiplying that by the number of years you're planning for, let's say to age 95. This isn't about being morbid, it's about creating a foundation of certainty. That number becomes your fortress. Step 2, classify the purchase. For any big expense, just ask, is this an essential or an enjoyment? A failing roof is obviously essential. That trip to Italy is an enjoyment. This simple question brings immediate clarity. The money has to come from the right zone. Step 3, conduct a future-proofing audit. This is really just about understanding opportunity cost. Before you spend from that enjoyment zone, ask yourself, what could this $20,000 be worth in 15 years if I left it invested? This isn't meant to stop you, but just to make sure the choice is intentional, that you truly value the experience more than the potential future gain. And finally, step 4, use a 30-day cooling-off period for all major enjoyment purchases. This simple rule is a game changer. It prevents impulse buys and makes sure the decision is driven by a real sustained desire, not just a fleeting emotion.
So let's just be crystal clear about the goal of all these steps. This is not about creating some restrictive budget that makes you miserable. It's the exact opposite. It's about liberation. The whole purpose is to replace that feeling of emotional hoarding, that vague fear that keeps you stuck, with a structured, objective plan. A plan that gives you a clear, mathematically defined, safe-to-spend zone. It's about giving yourself permission based on facts, not on fear.
This brings us to a really important part of this whole conversation, which is about the emotional outcome of all this logical work. This is about finding the wisdom to play the long game. And that includes not just protecting your wealth, but actually using it to live a full and meaningful life.
I just love this quote because it really captures the spirit of what we're doing here. The numbers, the calculations, the planning, all that work isn't just for your financial security, it's for your emotional freedom. The structured plan is your permission slip. It's the objective proof you need to tell that anxious voice in the back of your head, hey, it's okay. The future is secure. This money right here is for us to enjoy now.
And we have to talk about the other side of the risk coin, the regret of omission. There is a very real risk in oversaving. Wealth is a tool. It's meant to help you live your life, not just to be counted in a spreadsheet. Spending intentionally on experiences, on comfort, on making memories with people you love, that isn't frivolous. That's the whole point of saving in the first place. Your money is a finite resource, sure, but so are your health and your time. Hoarding money at the expense of memories, especially when you're healthy enough to create them, is its own kind of loss. A plan like this just helps you balance all three. So we've covered a lot of ground, from the deep psychology of fear all the way to a practical action plan. Now, let's bring it all home with a single, gentle step you can take the moment this is over to start making this shift for yourself. Just take a moment and think about it. What is that one thing? That trip you keep putting off? The car that's getting a little unreliable? That project around the house you've been dreaming about? Just bring that one specific purchase into your mind. And now just do this one simple thing. Classify it. Is it an essential need, or is it a life-enhancing enjoyment? That's it. You don't have to do anything else right now. But this simple act of classification, it's the very first step. It begins the mental shift away from emotional anxiety and toward objective, structured thinking. It's the beginning of the whole process. As we wrap up, let's just bring it all together. The anxiety you feel over spending, it is not a personal failing. It is a completely normal response that's rooted in the very real and valid fear of running out of money later in life when you're most vulnerable. The solution is to meet that fear not with more fear, but with a plan. With objective scenario planning that defines a safe, guilt-free spending zone. Really, the most powerful insight here is the profound freedom that comes from doing the work of calculating your non-negotiable safety floor. By building that fortress to protect your future self, you mentally unlock the permission to use the rest of your resources not with guilt or fear, but with joy and with intention.
Ultimately, this is all about finding a beautiful balance. It's about creating a system where you can feel confident that you're making smart choices. Because informed spending isn't about restriction, it's about empowerment. It's what allows you to maximize your joy and create those meaningful memories today, all while preserving the profound peace of mind that comes from knowing your security for tomorrow is already taken care of.